This is the All Talks Life podcast. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks.
Shout out for Brittany for making this possible. Super dope. Super dope with live training in the background. I guess first thing we could dive into is what was the hardest thing for you to kind of acclimate into the beginning of training? Like when you first started boxing, what was like the hardest thing for you to like understand or for you to pick up?
One of the hardest things really was like being one of the only girls in my team, because I thought I was gonna come into boxing and it was just gonna be like anyone and everyone, like girls, boys.
Sure.
But then like as I was going into boxing more, like I realized like it's not really a girl sport.
Sure.
So that was one of the hardest things, because I felt like I had no one who like understood like me, like, because you know there's a lot of things that comes with a girl doing boxing. But that's like one thing I always talk to my mom about is like, am I weird for being a girl and doing boxing? Like, is it cool or is it like not cool? Like, but that was one of the main things. Like that was one of the main things that like made it hard for me, because like in the past I've told my mom so many times like I don't think I want to do this because I'm the only girl here and it doesn't feel right, because like doing other team sports, like you have all your friends and stuff with you, and like when I first came here I just had my cousins, but they were also boys.
Sure.
So it was like really hard for me to feel like I fit in, and I don't like being places where I feel like I don't fit in, because I feel like the weird kid,
like uncomfortable.
I feel left out. So that was one of the like main things that made it hard for me to like want to keep going in boxing and like push myself. And then another thing that was really hard was like all the things that came along with doing the sport of boxing. So like all the if you had dedication, like you had to be in the gym 24/7. It's not like a sport that you can do for a while and then like be like, oh, I want to take a break for a little bit, because then you miss a lot. And
were you always like that? Were you always like super dedicated or like consistent with what you love to do or like to do?
Yeah, like especially with boxing, because like I knew right away, like when I stepped in the boxing ring, like, oh, this is my sport. Because when I was young I was always doing like all the sports, many different sports, but as soon as I came into the gym, like I just liked the atmosphere. Like it was like everyone was just doing their own thing.
Sure.
And like everyone was just open with each other, like no one like everyone, they just kept it real with you basically, and that's what I like I like people who are like that. So I already knew. So as I started training more, like I was like, I'm gonna keep coming every day. Like my dedication just grew and grew and grew.
And everybody was working for the same goal too. And you see everybody else's drive and everybody else's like passion. It kind of starts a little bit, fuels that a little bit more to be surrounded by those people that are kind of want the same thing.
We had like Luis Feliciano in here, and we had Cuba in here. They were already professional, so I got to see like what what they were doing to keep themselves going and like keep the title that they had.
Sure.
So it motivated me even more to keep going.
It's an important thing to have a good team around you. But one of the things that like I can relate to from wrestling with boxing is like it's one-on-one. You don't have a team. There's no one backing you up. When you're in that ring, it's you versus the other opponent, you versus yourself. Like how hard are you willing to take yourself and push that other person? You know, and it's like you can't fall back on nobody. It's like truly self-independent. Like you gotta be or else if you cave under that pressure of like that one-on-one, then it's not gonna be that thing for you. But to be able to do that in the ring like that, and what you're saying with the female and having those doubts from the beginning, like should I even be here? Should I be doing this? But then getting in there and then, you know, dominating and doing great and excelling. It's like, how does that make you feel? Like going from doubting kind of like should I be here, and then accomplishing catching dubs. How did that like transition? How do you feel now?
So when I was doubting myself, my parents were telling me like just keep going, like it's gonna be okay, like because they seen how good I was, they seen the potential I had, but I didn't see it myself because I was too worried about.
It's hard to see it, right? With all those like those things in the back that are like telling you can't do this, you can't do that, and it's just like everybody on the outside, your parents believe in you, your siblings believe in you, they can see that.
Yeah.
It's hard to see it from our lenses when we have those inner thoughts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I was too focused on the other things that I wasn't focused, like paying attention to like the skill I really had when I was training and stuff. And my coaches were telling me, my parents were telling me, they were like, you got this, like you're good, like you're going somewhere in this sport. But the thing that really flipped the switch for me was my first fight, like my first fight ever. Like before, it was kind of hard because I had never fought before, so I didn't like know the feeling of getting in the ring and like actually fighting somebody. But after my first fight, I was like, yeah, this is definitely my sport. Like that kind of made me like not worry about what other people thought, because like
you felt you felt like you should be there.
Yeah.
Cool. Was that your first fight? You know what I'm saying? Outside the ring type? Like, have you gotten a fight outside of the ring at all? At school or in life?
No, that was like my first time ever hitting somebody. Like,
how did you feel hitting someone for the first time? Like with all your might.
It was weird at first, but like I knew that was the sport of boxing, and I knew I was doing it in the right way, like not getting into trouble or anything. Like you said, being outside of boxing and trying to fight somebody.
Did you feel bad? Did you feel bad cracking someone? Like
not really.
Left or right? No.
Not really, no. Because I knew like that's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, that's what you came here for. Yeah, sure.
But yeah, and then even after my first fight, I had different I was having trouble with other things, like getting my next fight, because I think I fought my first fight was when I was 8. And then I didn't fight again.
8? Dang, girl. Yeah. That's dope.
But I didn't fight again until I was like 10 or 11, because I was still young, and my parents tried to explain to me that like you're young. Like, not a lot of young girls do boxing. Like girls in general, not a lot of young girls. So that was something else I had trouble with. But after my first fight, I already knew like this is my sport. I'm doing this forever. It was just the feeling that I had when I was inside the ring.
Yeah, it's like something else. Feeling. Sure. Yeah. And then we're getting your hand raised. Yeah. What was that feeling when you got your hand raised?
I was so excited. Like my parents have a video actually. Yeah. I was like jumping up.
I think I do remember that. I've seen that on Facebook. You jumped up and stuff. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah. It's a good feeling. It's a weird feeling too, because it's like no one else did that but you.
Yeah.
No one else did that. No one fought for you.
Yeah.
And to know that you did something and got praised or your hand raised for that, it's like empowering. It's like, wow, dude, I want this again.
Yeah.
I want to win again. Again, you know,
and just knowing what like I went through to get there, and like knowing that it all paid off in the end, like it just felt amazing.
Right. So, opposite end of the spectrum, how about losing? Because I have something that I wanted to share too from experience that I lost when I lost in high school, and I would like to share after you.
So, it was actually my third fight ever. Is when I had my first loss, but I was at it was my first national tournament ever. So I had to fight 2 days in a row, and the first day I won, so I got pushed to the next round. But then I fought in the championship, and I lost, and it was like the feeling, like I knew I had to go in there and give it my all, and I did, and just feeling like I gave it everything that I had, and then not winning.
Still falling short.
It was kind of like I was like, oh, it was not a good feeling, but I knew like losses came with wins. Like not everyone's
Did you know that right away, and did you know that in the moment, or how did you deal with that after the other person got their hand raised and you got down from the stage? You know?
At first, like I was in shock. Like I didn't know. I didn't know what to do because it was my first time ever losing. So I didn't know if I should like be upset, if I should cry. Like
interesting.
I had mixed emotions because I knew I still trained hard and I gave it my all. So, and I knew like I didn't go in there and like fool, like be a fool. I gave it my all. But then I was just like. So then I just went to my mom and I kind of cried to her. I was like, what do I do? I don't know what to do. Like, she was like, it's okay. It's going to happen. Like, she was like, it happened earlier than we expected it to because it was really early in my amateur career. So, but I was kind of down on myself. But, like, I knew I just had to come back to the gym and just train even harder than before.
and think about why you lost or why we lost, and like to embrace it almost instead of being afraid of it, because there's information in losses that we can take to literally use it to become victors, and to win. And it's like we have to go through those losses and those hard times in order to get through or get to the good things, and that's something I didn't know either. Like when I was wrestling, and specifically it was at this tournament. It was a pretty good tournament, and I think I was on like a streak, and I think that's might have what messed me up a little bit more. Because I was trying to keep a clean streak, no losses, just trying to go crazy out here, and then I made like I think it was like a stupid mistake or something like that, and I lost. And I'm not really an angry person, like at all. But in that moment, I was super angry. I was super frustrated. I remember taking my headgear off. I think I like threw it on my clothes. I walked into the locker room, and I remember like punching the lockers, like just punching the lockers because I was just like so frustrated with myself. And I was like, man, like knowing that I'm good, knowing that I was on a win streak, and now I just let some dude take my name, and that like bugged me and all this stuff. And I remember my coaches and my dad came in the room, and they were like, or in the locker room, and they were like, it's okay. And I'm like, nah. I remember the feeling, like, because I never get angry like that. So when I can remember, I was like, no, like pretty much not wanting to do it anymore, dude. Everything, I was throwing everything out the window, and then my dad was like, no, it's okay. My coach was like, dude, you're good, you're fine, you're good. Like kind of making me feel better, but telling me the truth, because in that moment I was so struck by that anger, I wasn't really seeing anything other than what I was feeling in that moment, which is like kind of what you were saying with being the only girl and not thinking about it. Thinking about that and not thinking about what you can accomplish. And so after that match, and after that locker experience, I went out and busted the next kid. So it was truly that self-belief thing, that doubt that I had on my mind and my heart, that I was just like holding myself back from letting that loss go and moving on forward. But once I let it go, it was like back to my thing, back to my fluidness. It was back to my moves, my natural movements and stuff like that, because I was a little different. I was a little weirder of a wrestler, I had my own little style, but I was back to that once I let that go, because losing sucks. Losing sucks, it's right? Like, especially in that moment.
My first loss, it wasn't as bad because it was my first national tournament ever, so it was kind of like, well, it's kind of bound to happen. You're new to everything there, but then I started winning national championships. So I was like, I think I was on like 4 in a row, like 4-time national champion, and then I lost, and it was like that.
Same
was
feeling
like
again.
It was again. like what did I do wrong? Like I'm supposed to be the best of like this whole entire thing, and like it was
like rankings and stuff too.
And I think it was right after COVID too. So I was like that was a whole other thing that would like messed me up, like. With training and being able to go travel for sparring and stuff, like everything was just shut down, and like I knew that I didn't have the right training to go and like going into that tournament because of COVID. It was like the first tournament after COVID, but like just still the feeling of not being a national champion anymore was kind of like
bugging you. Did it fuel you though? Did you like go in the gym and go a little bit more crazy because you were like, nah, like I'm not about to let that happen again. That's mine. That's my title. That's who I am. Like, champion, I need champion vibes, champion mentality. That's cool. That's good. How is like you said, being a girl, being in boxing at school, and how do guys and girls like talk about that or interact with you?
It's
because of that.
Well, when I first started boxing, I was still in elementary school, I think, and everyone just thought it was really cool that like I was a girl doing boxing. But as I got like later into middle school and stuff, that's when people started like, oh, you can't fight me, like you're weak, and like you're a
guys
girl.
Would say that, or girls?
Guys would say that. They're like, you're a girl, why are you even like? And then like I would go home and tell my mom like, they're telling me all this stuff and like that I'm a girl and why am I even boxing? And I remember me and my mom, we sat down and we had like a whole conversation about it, and like there's gonna be people that are gonna talk about you because they see how like much you're succeeding.
They're intimidated. Yeah. They're intimidated by greatness. People are intimidated by things that they cannot do.
Yeah, and she was
especially like, guys being a female, doing something really, that they probably couldn't even do.
Yeah, because I never really had girls like oh well, you can't box. All the girls think like, oh, it's really cool to have a friend that boxes, but it was more of the boys that are like, ew, like why do you do that? But,
guys are very prideful, dude. That's why guys like don't like people doing better than them.
Yeah.
Like in my experience in high school specifically, like guys would always try to cut each other down to make themselves feel better, and especially now if a female is doing or dominating in a male sport, and it's like, ooh, it's like, oh, trigger, like these dudes hate out here.
Yeah.
But that's on them too, and that's something that I've understood is like that's completely on them.
Yeah.
That's not something that you or that I should take from anyone else. Like that's on them and on their insecurities and on their like disbelief into them, what they can do. Like to take that onto us and our character is foolish.
Yeah.
Because like that's like other people draining you of your energy.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, don't touch my greatness.
Yeah. Like,
keep that over there. If you're gonna hate, keep that over there. So how do you? So does the hate still bother you? And do you receive hate still?
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a lot of kids that are like they just say the same things before, like when I was like earlier into my boxing career. I was like, because it was the first time ever happening to me. Like I didn't know how to handle it, and I did let it get to me a little. Like I've cried to my mom about it. Like, why is everyone being so mean to me about it? But then she explained to me, now I don't care because I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like I'm succeeding.
You're on a mission. Yeah.
I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So now I really don't care. Like they're just there to talk.
Sure.
Like they're gonna talk.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna happen.
Like it's gonna be there. Yeah. Comments are gonna be there. People. Yeah. For sure.
But it doesn't bother me because I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing in the ring. So it's just kind of like whatever. You can go ahead and talk. Like it's not gonna affect me at all.
Yeah, and instead letting it kind of fuel.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that haters have the potential to do that they don't even know is like they can fuel us.
Yeah, like then you winning again and then seeing like, oh, well,
like, what now?
Yeah.
What do you have to say now? What else you got? And then at a certain point, they're not going to have anything.
Yeah.
And then at a certain point, they're not going to be doing anything compared to the caliber of which you're working towards. So it's like see ya. It's like deuces. I ain't gonna mess with that. And then to have friends that have the kind of opposite energy of that, or family members and keep them closer that have the opposite energy, that like the opposite of hate, that like, yo, you can do anything.
Yeah.
You can go do anything you want. Like that is so much more beneficial than obviously surrounding yourself with people like that. But sometimes that hate is very powerful too.
Yeah.
And it does take a little bit of like mental toughness to like stop that from coming, or stop that from affecting us or you. But again, I feel like it's cool that you have a great family or great support system around you, because like, man, sometimes without that we couldn't. Like me too. I had a great support system too. I always had people to fall back on.
Yeah. And
I don't think I would have been able to do a lot or as much as I did if I didn't have that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So people and family or good energy around us is so important.
Yeah.
That's like what I've been understanding and learning, and what I've tried to been instilling within, like when I kick with my friends, when I kick with my family, like what am I talking about? Yeah, what am I talking about? Well, am I being uplifting? Am I being positive? Or am I being like naggy? Or am I being complainer? Like, and it kind of allows me to hyper focus on myself a little bit, like, how do I want to interact with people?
Yeah, because you want to have people to have, you want people to have fun around you. Like, you want to be a good person.
Yeah, and I want people to uplift me, so I'm going to uplift them.
Yeah.
And it's like literally how the world can go around.
Yeah.
But some people have their issues and certain things that hold them back, which is on, their thing to figure out. But for you, for me, like for individuals that were able to accomplish certain things within a combat sport, it's good to have that around you, because it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
Like boxing's tough, wrestling's tough. Like the physical stress you put on your body and mind. right? So it's not even just physical. It's not just running, right? It's getting hit or getting taken down, you know, and boxing, getting back up.
Yeah, boxing's a lot more mental. Like, it's a pretty physical sport. Like, you have to do a lot to stay in shape, like running and being there every day. But it's the mental part is real. Like, it's a lot mental too, because like you said, being in there, like. Yeah, you'll have your coach and your parents to tell you, like, oh, you have to fix this and that.
Yeah, on the outside.
But at the end of the day, you're going into the ring by yourself, and you have to be the one to be able to push yourself.
Yeah, and overcome that.
Yeah.
So how has that affected or changed your life outside of the ring? You know, with like school issues or girl drama or guy drama. You know, or parents and family drama, you know?
Boxing made me, like, really mentally strong because it was, like, I didn't realize how much you need to be, like, mentally strong in order to do the sport. But, like, now, like, I feel like I could do anything. Like, even with school and stuff, like, when I'm struggling, like, I just, like, no, you got this, or I'll always ask for help, or, like, I know that I can do it. Like, it's not possible. So I know I can do it.
Like, once you accomplish one thing, once you succeed in another aspect of your life, like, it's like, oh, wait, I can do the same thing in other aspects of my life. Like what? You know, and then you translate it. You translate the mentality that you learned and adapted to have within the ring, and you can come outside the ring and the same thing, like challenges and stuff like that. Like challenges outside are just like hill runs. Or just like we used to do sprint laps where we used to do under a minute. We used to have to sprint around, and if we didn't make it in a certain time, we'd have to do another one. And so it's like overachieving or overcoming that allows me to, like, okay, if I can push myself there, then I can push myself at work, or I can push myself in my family to be the best dad or you know, to go do the most I can here, because I know that I can do this in here. And then it's kind of
like it's possible.
Yeah, it's possible. And it opens up another realm of like, okay. Because it's a playground, right? This is a playground. Like, we can do anything we want in this world, you know. And it's like once you realize, oh shoot, I can do this. Let me see where else I can play. And that's where kind of what I do with my creativity or with my passions is like specifically podcasting and talking and stuff like that. But also playing music, like playing guitar, singing, rapping for fun, freestyling and stuff. Like I enjoy doing other things like that. And I try to find that flow state, that like fluid. You know, when you're moving. You know, when you're moving, that same thing, but recreating that in another aspect of our lives, you know, and I've been able to find my little pockets in what I do, and it feels great. It feels great. And I learned that from wrestling. I learned that from pushing my mind and my body and overcoming things, you know, and so I want to also go on self-belief, you know, and believing what we can do, and I guess to give you a little insight. One thing I always reference is me qualifying and placing, but not placing as high as I think I could have. Now, like back then, I was just like, oh, I just want to qualify, or qualifying is just qualify for state. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to be state qualifier, like qualify, and that was my cap for myself. So once I qualified, once I hit first for sectionals, first for regionals, and all that, and then I qualified, I was like, that was like where I kept that's where my imagination or that's where I envisioned myself. I didn't really see anything past that, so it kind of hindered what I was capable of doing in that moment. You know, and then it affected me because I only placed, I say only, but I placed 6th in state at 182 my senior year, and but I think I could have done more if I would have maybe believed that I could have done more. But I held myself back by the mental restraints that I put on myself. And so have you ever capped yourself and once you overachieved, you know, or overcame that cap, did you know, something happened?
Like in boxing, like, well, at first I didn't ever think that I was going to be able to make it to the national level as like, because I was so young, and I was like, well, it seems, because it's like seeing everyone around me in the national level, competing at a national level, it was like losing weight, having to like like what you're eating, having to watch that. I never thought because I was a little girl, so I never
Sure.
thought I had to, like, I would never think I would be able to do that, like with cutting everything that I needed to cut out. But then my parents like brought up going to a national tournament, and I was really nervous because I was like, I don't know if I can do that, like all the things that come along with it, like. But they were like, well, how about we just try it? And I was like, okay. So then we went, and I was like, well, it's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. So, but then I went and I fought, and I was like, okay, well, I can do this. Like, it's not hard. So then I kept, and then I would see like, oh, all the girls that are in my, like, I could have potentially fight, like, it was kind of nerve-wracking.
Sure.
Because seeing all the girls that I would eventually fight in the future, seeing them fight, I'm like, I don't know if I could fight them. Like, I'd always tell my mom that, like, Mom, I don't know if I could fight them. Like, they seem really good. And she was like, don't, like, she would get mad at me. She's like, don't ever say that. You can fight anyone you want. Like, you're good enough to fight them. So that was one thing that I was kind of like, getting to the national level was like one thing I never thought I would be able to do. But then seeing other girls that I could potentially fight, and then fighting them and winning, it's like, oh, well, it's not bad. Like, they seem good when you're watching them, but you can do better than them. To, like, you can find their weak spots to defeat them. And then I just kept going.
Or I'm just as good, if not better.
Yeah.
But like our minds tell us like these little things.
Yeah,
you
like
know,
when
and,
you see them, fighting, you're kind of like, oh, well, it looks kind of hard to fight them. But then when you get in the ring with them, it's a whole different, like. But yeah, that was one thing, and then
that's interesting too, because I was watching Creed with Rocky and Creed's son, and he put him in front of the mirror for first. He was like, oh, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna go do mitts? Or are we gonna do the bag? Like, what are we gonna do? And he's like, look in the mirror. He goes, look at yourself. He goes, that's your hardest opponent. That's your hardest opponent.
Yeah.
You know, and then like right there, it's like us telling ourselves like, oh, can I compete with them? Or oh, look at how, like with me specifically at 182, I wasn't super jacked, and like I'm strong on the inside, but you can't really see it. But like other guys, we walking in there, and for wrestlers, we weighed in our underwear and weighed in lines.
Yeah.
So I would be looking over like you know, like trying to be confident, but still having that self-doubt a little bit, because we're humans. And I'm looking, I'm like, man, like who is it? And then we get to the front, and then we see the other guy there, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna have to step up. We're gonna have to take, you know. And I psyched myself out a lot, but my dad was always telling me like, don't psych yourself out before you get in there. Like, like you gotta feel the dude out. You gotta see what's good with, you know, when you guys come into play like that. So for me, that mirror thing, that mirror reference that Rocky said, like, it was huge. It was huge in my life, and also in that movie too. Is like, it literally is our hardest opponent, because and I've heard this on something else, but we know our weaknesses, our strengths, we know our failures, we know our you know, the hardest things. We know the most about ourselves, which is like good and bad, right? Because we know where we can sharpen ourselves, but we also know where we can get ourselves, you know. And we do that to ourselves, unfortunately, because life's hard, right? And being a human is hard with other humans. Like, it just is kind of difficult, and to overcome one's self allows them to go do whatever. Because once you like look in the mirror and you love what's in the mirror, and you appreciate what's in the mirror, and you know what that person in the mirror can do, and you can work together with that. Ooh, that's where the magic happens. You know, that's where that flow state comes, because you're trusting yourself, you're trusting your movements, you're trusting your trainings and stuff, you know, and you're just like natural. It's like it's just, you know, it's finding yourself, you know, it's becoming one with yourself, you know. It's like I dealt with a lot of battling myself growing up. Just back and forth. Should I do this? Should I not do this? Dude, I was like so much in my head. And once I learned how to be out of my head, that's when I was like, oh shoot, I could do a lot more than I thought, you know. Because like, again, we hold ourselves back, you know. Do you hold yourself back? Do you struggle with that?
Yeah, sometimes I do. Like, sometimes I just doubt like things that I can do, like being really good at boxing, like being at the top level of boxing. Sometimes it's like it's hard, like, because you're the best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're up there, you're number one. So sometimes I doubt, like, oh, like, can this person be better than me? Like, sometimes I hold back, like, the skill that I have. Like, even in sparring sessions, like, it's not always even in fights. Like, I'll spar girls from other states, like, me and my mom will travel, and I'll just, like, oh, they're also left-handed, so like, are they better than me? Like, and then I'll just go in there and I'll get really, like, tense and tight, and my mom's like, it's fine, like, just do what you gotta do, like, you know what you need to do to look good. So she's yeah.
So how do you loosen up if you find yourself stiff in there? How do you loosen up?
I just tell myself, like, just do what you always do, because doing what I've always do has obviously gotten me to the point where I'm at right now. So I just tell myself, just be you, just do what you gotta do. And then sometimes I think about, like, what me and my coach have worked on, like, in mitts or on the bag, or even just, like, what he's talked to me about. Like, I'll just put it in the back of my head so that I know, like, if somebody comes with something, then I know how to work around it. Yeah, like, I know how to work around it. But mainly it's just me telling myself, just do what you've been doing this whole time, because you're up there. So like, it's obviously helped you in the ring. So.
Yeah, and having fun too, right? And making sure that you're having fun, because if we're not having fun, what's the point?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's kind of like, we're here to be healthy and evolve and to have fun and enjoy what we're doing. Yeah. So if we're not enjoying it, it's like we're defeating the whole purpose.
Yeah, like, because with running, that's like one of the, like, I don't like running at all, but I know that's what something I have to do to stay in shape. So, like, my coaches and stuff, they'll make games, like, out of running, and, like, they'll just do, like, I forgot what the running's called, but we'll just start in a line and then we'll just sprint around each other, and the person from the back.
Oh yeah, we used to do that for soccer.
Yeah,
that's
like,
dope.
Yeah, so they make games out of it, so it's more fun, and you're not really, like, thinking like, I have to run for this. Like,
that's cool. Making it a game. That's a cheat code.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, because that's what I like about the gym. Like, they make everything more, like, fun, and not like a game, but, like, they make fun out of it. So like, we're working out, but we're not, like, enjoying the process. We're not like, we have to come to the gym today to work. Like, that's not. One
thing I, like, almost got addicted to is, like, pushing myself past that last barrier, like where we think we can go, and then boom, pushing us right there. Like, I was like a try-hard. Like, I am a try-hard. Like, in everything that I do, I just try really hard. So, like, in wrestling specifically, and going through the cardio workouts, and the we used to climb stairs with people on our back, 3 flights of stairs, like, at the same weight as you, so carrying yourself up the stairs. Like, I used to like enjoy and, like, become so focused on pushing myself. Like, what can you accomplish? You did this, and it was obviously a lot of the reasoning was because of our coach. We had a really good coach. Like, I've always had really good coaches for wrestling, and he would always just say, push past that mental barrier. Push past that mental barrier. Because, like, we create this box for ourselves just so we can feel safe, so we can feel comfortable, so we can feel, just like we're okay. Yeah. But it's okay not to be okay. Yeah. And then once you get that understanding of, like, it's okay to be uncomfortable, and it's okay for your lungs to burn. Yeah. Like, it's okay for your arms to be, like, dead. Like, it's okay. Push past that. And next time, you're going to be able to go farther and farther and farther and more and more and more, stronger, faster. And it's like, once we stop boxing ourselves, it's when we can achieve so much. Yeah. Because there's so much out there. Like, and that's one thing that I've been understanding about humans is, like, we have such great potential. Yeah. We literally can do so many things. Like, people skydive, people box. Like, you saw Tank and Ryan. Yeah. Like, you see Mayweather, how he moves. Yeah. Like, you see all these dudes, like Andy Ruiz. Like, you see how a big dude like that, but he's quick. Like, you see what humans can do, and it's like, I watch these humans, and I watched everybody and people and sports and whatever people talking. I'm like, wow, we can literally do anything.
Yeah.
We literally can do anything. It's just literally up to us.
Yeah.
And what kind of box we put around ourselves, and if that box is even there. And I'm like low key, like I'm just destroying that box around, so like my mind can just go and like see full potential, you know, because I've been like hyper focusing on full potential and helping people see their full potential, because some people don't know how. Some people aren't willing, but some people don't know how to.
Yeah.
And for the people that don't know how to, I want to show them like, hey, there's more. There's more here than just like punching in, punching out.
Yeah.
You know, there's more here than just sitting on the couch watching TV, same show. There's more here than just sitting and playing the same video game. Like, there's more. We have more potential.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And we can't see that or experience that or open that up if we just keep ourselves in those comfortable positions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta go hill bomb. You gotta go sprint. You gotta go do all that stuff in order to, you know, see what kind of potential we have on the inside. Like, and it's powerful. Yeah. It's powerful. Look what you've been able to do. It's powerful.
Because I would have never thought, like, a few years ago that I would be where I am today. But pushing myself has helped, like, a lot with being where I am right now.
Yeah.
And, like, even going through, like, the difficult times, like, at first I didn't think I could ever overcome, like, being in a hard, like, in a moment where it's, like, it's hard. Like, knowing I had to push myself to get past it. Like, I would have never thought I would have been able to do that, but I did, and where I'm at right now.
And now there's, like, next one, because, like, that's the thing is there's no cap. We can keep going. Yeah. Look at Mayweather. Yeah. Look at Ryan. Look at all these dudes that have been boxing since they were little. Yeah. Like look at I know this is kind of the right term, but look at Drake. Mm-hmm. You know, look at what Drake was, or some of these rappers, what they were, what they came from, and then what they built for themselves. Yeah. And so on that note too, it's like we can't, once we first start something, or once we still first acknowledge a certain gift or something, a certain potential inside us, we can't hold ourselves to that Drake status. Like we're literally just starting. Like Drake didn't start dropping, I just hit this flip. Like he didn't drop that his first song. Yeah. That was like after years and years and years. Yeah. And some people see all these influencers or see all these boxers or sports athletes, whatever you want to say, artists, and they're like, oh, but they do the first song and say, oh, I can't because I can't do this right now, I won't be able to do what they do. And they like knock themselves down, but it's like, dude, remember where they started. Yeah, like they started writing in a notebook and and it didn't even make sense in the beginning. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, excuse me, we can't expect ourselves to be great right away. Yeah. But to be able to envision us becoming great is the secret recipe, you know? Yeah. Greatness is it's a great thing. It's a good thing. It's a good thing to feel. Yeah. You know, and it's almost a privilege to be able to catch dubs and to be able to succeed in something so elegantly, you know, naturally. Mm-hmm. It's kind of unfair almost, you know, because it's like I've been able to walk into wrestling and just pick up moves. Yeah. Watch people. I used to just watch people. Okay. Like I learned my feints that way. Yeah. I learned shots, you know, like shots, like shooting for takedowns and stuff. Like I learned specific little things, grabbed the little things, boom, 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 from everybody in the wrestling room, and then put it and mashed it together and made my thing with it, like Play-Doh almost. I molded it to do my thing, and it was like little bits and pieces of everybody. But I feel like we are little bits and pieces of everybody. We're not completely original, and that's okay. Like like you're a mixture of PJ and Brittany, like or your mom and your dad. we're not completely original. Yeah. And that's okay. Like I don't need to be completely original. Like I can utilize what the other people around me have provided me or shown me, and I can use that to do my thing. Yeah. Not copying it. Yeah. I don't want to copy it, but utilizing a little bits and pieces. Yeah. You know, and why not? If my son or if my brother took something of mine, either a wrestling attribute or a life attribute, good for him. If it works for him, if he could take that and use it for his full potential or for his full expression, like, go ahead. Yeah. Why? It's like selfish almost if I want to hold something that I've learned from someone greater than me at that time to push myself to get to that level, and then why would I not want someone else to do that? Like I want everybody to win. Everybody can win. We all have the potential to catch dubs. You know, in different aspects of life. Not everybody can do it in the ring. You know, not everybody can do it on the mat. Not everybody can have conversations and sit here, but we can do other things. And to help people find their other little things and to see what's inside them is like, it's a great feeling as well. It's like winning. It literally is like winning and getting those little, or accomplishing those little things, or doing those little things in life that have that winning feeling. Dude, that's good. Because it's like, then you don't need anything else. You know, because you can, I win every day by being a dad, I think I win every day by interacting with my babies, and with Hayes, getting the mitts out, doing mitt work with him, Adelena, trying to push her to sing, trying to look at her in the eyes and do a long note, and then waiting for her to do it, and she's like, and she'll do it back to me, and it's like, that's the little dubs, that's the little hand raises. It's like when I can through my expression get them to express. That's fire. And then so creating those winning moments in life, like it's great. It's like what life is about, you know. It's not about sitting on, you can't just sit on the bottom of the barrel. You can't get comfortable with just sitting there. Like we can go there, but let's reach up again. Like let's do this like this, like up and down, up and down. We're gonna have ups and downs. Let's just learn how to get through those ups and downs. Don't get so caught up in the, oh, I'm so great, no one can touch me, because then that's when you get dropped, and then you get humbled. But to be able to be humbled, but also take that and learn, and to be more wise on the other end. You know?
Like my sisters, like I know they're watching me and like watching me accomplish, so I know I'm being a role model for them. So showing them, like with Ayana, she has a hard time in school, but like I show her, like, you can do it, you just gotta work for it. Like I'll sit down with her and I'll have her pull out all her homework, like that she thinks she cannot do because it's too hard, and I'll sit with her for like hours and I'll go through it with her, and I'll tell her, and once she does it, I'll be like, see, you did it, right? It's not like you can't do it, you just have to take the time to be able to focus on it and get it done, because she has a hard time with like focusing. Like she gets distracted easily, so I'm trying to help her with that, to show her that she can do it, so when she gets into high school or when she goes to college and stuff, she's not having a hard time focusing on one thing, because like I want her to know she can do it. And then AJ, she likes boxing too, so I like showing her, like, oh, like this is what you got to, like I love having somebody that likes the same, likes boxing too, because I like showing her, like, oh, because she likes to come to the gym with us too, so I like her like watching me, so
being there on the side. It's like a little bit more, it's empowering too, right? For sure.
Her being there and watching me, and then like going home and wanting to do the same thing. Like I showed her something that she wants to do, so it's like it feels good. It's similar
to that, having kids. You know, like having Hayes watch me do something, or Adelina watch me do something, and later me not even telling them, but them doing it or saying it. I'm just like, dude, it's like, you know. But I love to do opposite end of the spectrum. So not only do people around us see the good things, right? They also see the bad things. And that's the part where it's like it's tough, because it's like it takes a constant reflection on oneself, because like you wouldn't want Ayana or AJ to take anything negatively from you. You know what I'm saying? You just want them to take the good. But that's not how it works. You know, like if they're gonna learn from the good, they're going to learn from the bad too, and they're going to see your mistakes, or they're going to see your downfalls as much as the good. So it's like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, so I need to watch myself when I get down. Like, am I getting angry in front of Hayes, or am I getting frustrated, or are they, you know, are they watching me not talk nice to somebody? And it truly has allowed me to change my life, because it's, again, like focusing on how I'm interacting with people. It's like, okay, like it helps me be more genuine. Cause and not be more in my head and like act off a reaction or something like that, or emotion. But truly like off of knowledge and wisdom. You know, because knowledge and wisdom comes when you push that emotion to the side, or not to the side, but like become aware of it and not allow it to control you, that's the wisdom right there. It's like, okay, I know acting like that or reacting to that isn't going to benefit me here, so I need to do this.
Yeah.
And that's wise.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because again, we don't want the little people. We don't want the little people after us to take that stuff, the bad stuff. We want them to just take the good, and acknowledging that helps me, and I think it could help other people, like express just the good, express more of the good, and be more good, because others are watching.
Yeah.
Others are always watching. Haters are watching. They want to see you get angry. They want to see you lose. You know what I'm saying? Like when Conor McGregor lost, dude. People wanted this dude to lose, even though he was so out. Why can't we just praise greatness? No. There's haters. There's haters, and they want to see people fail and get angry, and that's why we gotta build ourselves up. And I always say, form a force field in our heads to like not allow that stuff to hinder us, not allow that stuff to get in our heads and to do that dirty work, and then affect how we react or how we treat other people. And it's like, so I just like to view both sides of everything. Like I've for a long time I've viewed things from one way and one dimensional until I got to the point and I was like, wait, it's way more beneficial to open up this horizon for me to see all possibilities and to see both sides of the spectrum, or else I'm just not really being in reality or living reality. You know, because I'm not aware of that bad stuff within myself.
The good things.
And it's like, the good things are great, but I don't want to say but the bad things can hinder us from experiencing that great. So we gotta like focus on it. You know, and sometimes it's like, focus on the bad stuff. Focus on me being sad or angry. Like, why would I want to do that? I'll just distract myself. And it's like, no, because that is there for a reason. You losing or you getting angry or you getting sad or being sad in that moment is a lesson. It's another match, right? But it's outside of the ring. So it's like, how do we overcome this now so that we can overcome it later and show people how to overcome it? Our kids or your future kids. Like, how are you going to show them how to overcome that stuff? You know? And it's hard. It is tough. Because just as, like, I always, like, spectrum, like, just as much greatness, high-level greatness, dude, there's equally as, like, ugly and as mean and terrible, you know? So it's, like, to understand our place within that, you know? So how do you deal with, like, hard situations or, like, pain? Do you feel like you distract yourself, or do you face that bull and do you look at it in the eyes?
So I've been through like a lot of like sadness and feeling pain, like especially with the sport of boxing. Like it's gonna happen.
How about outside in life and outside of boxing? Like, what kind of pain and suffering have you experienced, and how did you? I guess start there, and then we'll go after that.
Well, I like with loss of family, like that. Like, that is one thing that I have a hard time with dealing with, like the grief, because my grandpa, he recently passed away, and he was one of the most important people in my life, and that, like, he was the first person I've ever lost, like, that I was super close with, and I did not know how to deal with it. Like, I was just in disbelief. Like, I did not believe, like, it was actually happening. Like, I would go to my mom and I was like, is this real? Like, I just felt like I was in a dream, like it wasn't real, and I didn't know what to do. Like, I tried talking to my mom, I tried therapy for, like, because it just messed me up, like, all the way. Like, I was just like, so I tried, like, all the outlets. Like, I wanted to get out of what I was feeling.
What kind of outlets did you try that didn't work or didn't kind of fill that?
Distraction is one of them. Just trying to, like, be out with friends or trying to talk to my mom about it. Like, what can I do to, like, help this feeling go away? But most people that I've tried talking to about it, they're like, it's gonna happen. Like, there's nothing you can do to completely get rid of it. Like, he was so important in your life that, like, it's gonna hurt. Like, you're gonna feel the pain. But you just gotta, like, look like, oh, he's not in pain anymore. Like, he's not suffering anymore. He's in a better place now. So, like, you just gotta, like, look at it like that instead of, like, what am I gonna do without him? Like, things like that. And they're like, it's gonna happen. Like,
it's like inevitable.
Yeah,
death is
like,
a part of life, right?
It's gonna happen. Like, you can't do anything to make the pain go away. Like, it's gonna be there. You loved him as much as you did, so it's gonna affect you. Because I was just trying to get the feeling, like, out, like, distract myself, and it was hurt. Like, it was affecting, like, a lot of, like, boxing, school, like, my attitude towards other people. Like, it was hurting me as well, like, with other
sadness
things
can turn
around.
to anger, you know, real quick.
And it made me, like, once I realized, like, it happens to everyone, like, people understand, because I was thinking, like, no one understands my pain, like, no one understands how I feel right now, but knowing that other people have felt, like, people have lost their parents, like their mom or their dad, and I actually have a friend who has lost her mom, so, like, I was most, like, when I talked about it, like, I wanted to talk to her about it because she felt the same thing that I felt. But, like, it was like a moment of, like, shock for me. Like, at that time in my life, I was like, I didn't know what to do. But, like, it just took time. Like, over time, I kind of started to realize.
It's hard to know what to do in situations that you have not experienced.
Yeah, like, that was my first experience of, like, I've lost family members, but he was the first one, like, I was super close with. Like, I spent a lot of time with him. He supported me through, like, my boxing career and everything. He was at most of my fights. So it was, like, really hard, like, especially getting back, because, like, I did not want to, like, even think about boxing, look at a boxing gym, because like, that's what reminded me most of him. So it affected me a lot with boxing. And, like, just my parents tried to explain to me, like, he would rather want you to be in the gym pushing yourself than
to be mourning and not being here anymore.
Like, he doesn't want you, he wants you to go in there and give it your best for him and not stay away from it because of him. Like, he wants you to and it was hard to come back to the boxing gym without, like I had a lot of bad days in boxing, but I explained it to my coach and he understood, so we kind of just took it slow back into boxing after that. But now it's like,
that's good.
I'm doing it for him now. So it's
like, and that's good to be able to admit that to yourself and acknowledge that, and to express that to other people so that they can understand where you are at and what you're feeling. You know, because one thing that I've thought about with the death, because I think about death, like, not every day, but I do. I think, because again, without death, there is no life. Without life, there's no death. Like, because it's just like a paradox, you know, where it's like all part of the same thing. And one thing that I've understood with death is, like, instead of, like, focusing on them not being there, let me focus on what we were able to create with one another. Like, all the good times, like the love that he showed you, or the drive that he instilled into you to box and to do great things here. Like, wow, like, you know, and that could truly provide that comfort for the death, because you appreciate the life. You know, and to appreciate the life allows you to be okay with the death. Like, okay, he did his job. He did his job here. He was a great grandpa to you, obviously. You know, and you guys were able to build a relationship that's going to be with you your entire life. And now you can create that with other people. Potentially your grandson, potentially your grandchild, your granddaughter, whoever, because that grandpa and granddaughter relationship. You know, like, you can create that with other people. Because he showed you that. You know, and that's dope. It's dope, and that's where it's like, truly brings happiness to me to think about, like, the people who died in my family too. Like, I always go back to my auntie Heidi. She was like and from a little man's perspective, like, I was little, I wasn't super old, but every time that I've interacted with her, every time that I seen her, it was pure love. It was pure acceptance and joy and excitement to see us. And wow, like, I didn't realize how important that was until after she was gone.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, because we're all teachers and students, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now I can be that, what my aunt was, to my nephews, to my cousins, to my friends, to my family, to my kids, to my girl. Like, everybody, because of that beautiful lady that was in my life, that showed me that genuine love expression. And it sounds like that's what your grandpa kind of had for you too.
Yeah, he had like a big impact on my life because he was so supportive and loving, and I was like, when I was with him, we would always do so much fun things, and yeah, it's just like you said, when he was around, I felt I was happy, like,
sure.
Yeah.
Cool, that's awesome. I'm glad that you had a good grandpa like that.
Yeah.
You know, that's important.
Yeah.
That's great. And I guess we could take it to like, I have a couple more questions that been floating in my head. Like, one is like, what do you wish or hope that girls your age would understand or know? What kind of wisdom or knowledge could you pass that you've learned throughout boxing, throughout your grandpa passing, throughout your family, throughout everything? What is like a couple of things that you want other girls your age, and you're 14, 15? 15? So what do you hope that other girls learn, other 15-year-olds can learn or can take away from either this conversation or from your presence?
Well, one main thing is, like, don't listen to what other people are saying. Like, don't let it get to you, because I let it get to me, and it's not worth your time. Like, just go in there and be who you are, because at the end of the day, when you're doing what you need to do and seeing the good outcome that it's bringing, the other people aren't gonna matter. Like, they're just there to make you feel like you're not a good person. And I've realized that, like, through everything, like, not even just boxing, like school life, everything. Like, people are gonna try to bring you down, but just don't let it happen, because at the end of the day, it's just yourself, and when you push yourself, you're always gonna have a good outcome. Like, it's just other people are just,
trust yourself and
be who you are. Like, don't change who you are for other people, because it's not worth it in the end. Like, being someone who you know you're not it's not a good feeling. Like, being fake just so you can make other people feel better for, like, about themselves, like, it's not a good feeling. So just be who you are, even if other people don't like it.
Sure. Wow, yeah. That's something that took me a long time to understand. And I just turned 26 on Sunday. And you're 15, and, you know, you're acknowledging those certain things now. It's like, that's wisdom right there. That's a wisdom, because it truly does bleed over into every aspect of life. It's like trusting yourself, trust who you are, love who you are, you know, and embrace who you are, regardless of anybody else's comments or anybody else thinking that you can't or won't be able to do it. Trust yourself. That's awesome. That's awesome. And then my last and final question, because I've known your dad for such a long time, and I know that he's been a big supporter in your life and kind of been right there with you. You know, give me a little bit of your guys' relationship, and also what kind of wisdom or information can you provide me to then help my daughter or my kids? Because now I'm a father too now. You know what I'm saying? My oldest is 4. Adelena is a year and 3 months. So what kind of being a daughter, you can give daughter since you're a woman, like, what kind of advice do you have for me that I can help assist my daughter?
My dad, I've like that my dad, he's understanding. So, like, if I'm going through something, I'll go to him and I'll just rant, like, just keep talking to him about it, and he'll just sit there and listen, and he'll comfort me, and he'll be like, it's gonna be okay. Like he's there for me whenever I need him, and he's very understanding. He gives good advice. He's an understanding person. And then, like, when I am going through something, like when I'm frustrated or when I'm sad, like any emotion, he's there to be like, it's okay. Or even when I'm like happy or going through a good time, he's like, yeah, I'm so proud of you. Like and one thing he does is he sends me quotes every day. On like when I'm on my way to school, he'll send me a quote every day, and he'll be like, use this for today.
Wow.
Like if you're going through, like if you get frustrated, if you get mad, if you get sad, just look at this and just think like you can do this. Like he just basically helps me push myself to keep going, because he knows, he sees what, like who I am, what I've accomplished in every aspect of life. Like, and another thing that I like is that he'll talk to me and give me, like, when I'm saying like I can't do it, he'll just be like, you can't do it, but look what you have already done. Like even in school, like sometimes I struggle in school, and I'm in like a lot of college classes, and he'll be like, you already made it to the point where you could be in a college class, and thinking you can't finish is like not one thing that he'll allow me to think. Like he won't allow me to think like I can do it. So he'll sit there and he'll help me through it, and then once I finish it, he'll be like, look, like you did it. Like he does not let me tell myself that I cannot do anything. He gets really upset with me when I tell him I can't do it, because he knows I can do it.
Wow.
He knows that like I can push myself. He's seen it in me before. So he witnessed what I've done to accomplish things. So he knows like you can do it. He was there every step of the way.
Nice.
And like even when I was younger, like the struggles like they were going, like my parents were going through, like being able to for me to have a good life, like the things they went through, and then him seeing that I can push myself to keep going and make myself a better person, it just makes him so proud. So he always wants to be there every step of the way, telling me that I can do it, making sure that like I'm not letting anything get to me, or me telling myself I can do it. He'll just be there to help me and give me advice and show me things that I have done, or tell me about
perspectives and stuff. Like, hey, think about it like this.
Yeah, like he'll tell me, like we'll tell story times to each other, like you have done this, which means you can do this. Like
does he share stuff with himself? Like does he, I always use the term vulnerably express. Does he vulnerably express to you and kind of show more of a softer side instead of like a macho?
He'll tell, like he even tells me things he's went through as a little kid to show me that he has came a long way since he was a younger kid, because he's always tells me he didn't have such a great life. Like his parents really struggled, and his like he only really had a mom and when he was younger. So he always tells me that he started off at a really low place and look at where he is now. So he tells me he pushed himself to get to where he is today. So he wants me to push myself.
Or he knows you can push yourself.
He knows I can push myself to be like a better person. Like he's just proud of me for even doing what I have done already. But when I get to like, sometimes I start to get to like hard on myself, and he tells me like, no, don't be hard on yourself. Like you can do it. Like you already have done so much. Don't try to stop right here. Like
don't tell yourself anything less than.
He's like, keep going. So just knowing that.
So give me 3 words on what a father can have with their daughter, or what they should provide. 3 words, summarize it. Like 3 important key factors of that you love that your dad provided to you. Could be 3 different things, could be 3 together, whatever.
So one thing is like just be there to listen. Like just be there when they need somebody to talk to, because that's one thing that I love that my dad does, is he'll just sit there and listen. Another thing is, like, be around as much as you can, like, even like school events, school sports, like my dad with boxing. Like, he has a hard work schedule, but he'll somehow always end up at the gym. Like, any point that I'm there, like, he'll just pop in and be like, hi, like,
That's
he'll
awesome.
say hi to everyone, and then I'll finish my training, then we'll leave together. And then the third thing is just be, like, I don't know, it's like, quality time is the most important thing for me. Like, just spending quality time, like when you have downtime. Like, I'll be up in my room just on my phone, and he'll be downstairs just watching TV, and he'll just be like, hey, come watch this with me. And then we'll just watch, like, either watch a movie together, a show together, we'll study boxing together. Just the like, being there, having quality time together, it makes me feel more comfortable being like around him, being able to tell him stuff. Yeah.
Wow, nice. Thank you for that. That was awesome. I enjoyed that. So self-proclamation and self-belief. We talked a lot about that this pod. Where do you see yourself going, and what do you want to accomplish with the sport and in life? Little bit of goals. Yeah.
With boxing, I want to eventually make the Olympics. Like, I want to be on the Olympic team. I don't care, like, within 2028. Like, I want to...
2028? Okay, cool.
Yeah, because 2024 I wanted to do 2024, but my age will still be, I'll be a little too young to make it there. But 2028, I want to be on the Olympic team, and then after that, my goal is to go pro.
Cool.
So, be a professional boxer, and then just from there,
cool.
The one reason I want to make the Olympic team is because the head coach, Shorty, he trained an Olympic team, so I just want to be there. I just want to get the experience and everything. Because with USA Boxing, they have, like, the Olympic trials, and they have, like, world championships, like, where you just travel around the world. So that has a lot of opportunities. And then going pro has always been something I wanted to do, is be professional. Just, like, at the end of the day, like, that's where I wanted to go with boxing. But the Olympics is one of my main goals right now, is to get the experience of being an Olympian.
Awesome.
Like that.
Sure. Yeah, that would be a great thing to call yourself Olympian. That's crazy. Yeah, that's some good goals right there.
Yeah.
Good goals. Well, dude, I mean, shoot, from what I've experienced from your life and growing up with you and watching what you've been able to accomplish, and to see who you are now, and to have a conversation, like, I see that you're killing it. You got a great head on your shoulders. You're a very nice person, and that truly can make or break someone's life, as if they're being nice through it, whether that be in the ring or whether not. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, so I just want to give you your flowers and say that you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
And I believe in you. I believe in you. I believe that you can do anything you put your mind to. Not only that we share the same blood, but because of who you are. Like, I know that you got this.
Thank you.
So, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
This is the All Talks to Life podcast. We like to get deep. We like to talk about full expressions. We like to get vulnerable. We like to get open. It's just what we like to do. Deuces.